Where do y'all think that comes from? Renewing the mind. You ever heard that before? What does that mean? So let's turn to Romans 12, please. Someone read verse 2. Romans 12, 2. Someone read, please. And then after that, I'd like someone to read Psalms 51 and 6. Someone read Proverbs 23, 7. And someone read Psalm 139, 23 and 24. All right. So y'all choose any of those four.
Romans 12:2. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of the mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect.
All right. All right. All right. Renewing of the mind. Y'all heard that, right? All right. Psalm 51. Who got it? Don't all y'all jump at one time.
Behold, behold, you desire truth in the innermost being, and in the hidden part, you will make me know wisdom.
All right. All right. What's it talking about? Innermost being. All right. Proverbs 23 and 7. And then the last one's going to be Psalm 139, 23 and 24.
Proverbs 23:7.
Yes, ma'am.
For as he thinks within himself, so he is. He says to you, eat and drink, and his heart is not with you.
All right. All right. Hmm. See, thinks what it said? Thinks within himself. Is that what it said? All right. All right. And all right, who's got Psalm 139? Anyone? Just flip back a little bit. Ain't too far from Proverbs. Verses 23 and 24.
Search me, God, and know my heart. Put me to the test and know my anxious thoughts, and see if there's any hurtful way in me, and lead me in the everlasting way.
All right. Search me and know my heart. He's asking, right? He's saying, if there's any hurtful way in me, see if there's any hurtful way in me. Lead me the everlasting one. All right. So what do these verses have in common? What are they saying? What are they discussing? What are they talking about? What do- what do we see here? Is there a common thread? A common theme? Is it are they all saying the same thing, the exact same thing, or similar? Or what? What are y'all hearing here?
It's, to me, it sounds like it's talking about strengthening your mind, adding adding to, you know, studying, practicing what you're studying in
Hmm.
your everyday life. You know, when you encounter people, people gonna see you for what you put in front of them.
Hmm.
But what you want to put in front of them is what you've been studying, and what God gave you, what God taught you.
Yes, to a certain degree. Yes, to a certain degree. And we're gonna get deep in that. Yes, sir.
In the first one in Romans, I think about, like flushing the toilet.
Oh goodness.
They're getting rid of all the waste, and then you keeping what you need. I'm saying, like your mind, you're getting rid of, you're not conforming to the world. So that's just waste. You're just getting rid of that. Just get rid of that, and then you focus on what you need to focus on.
Okay.
Keeping what you need to keep, um, what's pure and all of that, but you're getting rid of everything. Or maybe building a barrier, maybe. But getting rid of all the old stuff, the bad stuff, you just getting rid of that.
Hmm. Okay. 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 Anyone else?
Change,
Changes? Changing? Changes? Okay. Yes.
change from the old to the new.
Okay. Okay.
Like it's been said before, you can't. A drug addict can't recover if he's staying in the same house where the drugs was first there. That was there.
Mm.
He's got to change his environment
Okay.
in order to
Okay.
be able to have a better chance of flushing the system and being able to put away those old things. They got to change.
All right. All right. Okay. Okay. And what else? Okay. Got another thing. Okay.
I mean, when I hear that, I hear Joshua 1:8 when he says meditate day and night. He's really talking about what's in that inner dialogue inside of our mind. What kind of thoughts are recurring in the back of your mind? And
Mm.
those thoughts are a product of what was put in them. So if there's things that are not good, that renewal process is like what Martin was saying, hey, you gotta flush this stuff out. Well, when you flush it out, there's a void. So if you don't put something else, you don't intentionally put something else in there, something else is gonna take its place. And them thoughts are a result of a lot of times how we behave.
Mm.
If
Mm.
you got negative thoughts about, man, I should never do that right. Well, that's going to affect how you outwardly behave because that's always running in the background. You just can't get right.
Can't get right. Okay. 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 So, all right. So these thoughts in your mind. So you know, you said sometimes that it controls how you act. Well, it always does. I mean, everything you do is because your mind told you to do it, right? In some way. Now, sometimes you have to think about things, really think about it, concentrate on it, right? Before you do something. Maybe?
You actually should think before you do anything.
Yes, you should. But sometimes you actually take time and think, okay, what's the best way to go about doing this and all that. Now, some things you just automatically do. Yes or no? You know, y'all ever did anything before you even thought about it? Before I thought about it, I done slapped her before I thought about it.
You already thinking
And
about
that,
that.
and that's generally when you get in trouble. Yeah,
Ah,
You was already thinking that, okay? That
right.
was forethought a long time ago.
So, what's the difference? And why is there a difference?
Well, if you go back to the slapping thing, right? Look at somebody whose profession is boxing, right? They spend hours upon hours practicing punching bag, doing this drill, move their head, punch. Well, their training is reflex. They're training those things that they normally would have to think about to become an unconscious action. Anytime this happens, I've done it so many times that I don't think about it. It just happens.
It's an unconscious action,
It's a reflex. You don't have to think about
subconscious.
it. Subconscious.
Unconscious mean I'm like that.
So,
After you, the professional boxer, hit me, now I'm unconscious.
so the same thing happens to us. Sometimes we unwillingly commit things to our subconscious. And sometimes it's things like the slapping thing that shouldn't be there. Maybe I got a bunch of angry thoughts that I got pushed down. And somebody said something that hit me the wrong way. And before I knew it, my hand was moving.
So the subconscious mind, so you got conscious mind, whatever, and subconscious mind. Okay. That's interesting. Go ahead.
I'm gonna take it away from the slapping thing.
Yeah. Well, I was hoping. I said, what could I think of that everybody would relate to?
I know. So I'm gonna go to the muscle memory like we are taught as police officers when we're drawing our guns.
Mhm.
So sometimes when we're on the shooting range, like I have to go every single year, I have that issue of getting the gun out. It's kind of like you said, because you're thinking about it. On the other hand, when I'm put in danger, such as when we went to go get the young lady at the hotel, gun just came out because guy did something, didn't know if I was gonna have to shoot him, so didn't think about it.
Yeah.
My gun was just out.
Yeah.
So it's just they call it muscle memory. But like you said, you just do it because it's the instinct of hey, something's about to
Yeah.
happen versus when we're on the shooting range, you got 2 seconds to do 5 shots. So
Yeah. Yes, sir.
I was thinking one that we probably used to very relate to, but not now. You know, certain words come out. You stub our toe or drop something and that type of stuff because, you know, nobody, and I tell my students, Mr. Mitchell just slip out. You know, I said, well, you had to be taught that first. 'Cause nobody's born with language. You gonna make noises, but you learn that. So somebody taught you that. And number two, I mean, I said just like passing gas, once it's out, you can't put it back. So that's something that you gotta. I don't say the word passing gas, but it's just something that once we
These
have made
analogies.
transition, it's not acceptable anymore. So when I hear people say, "Well, it's just words," that's something that we have to work on. And once we really get all this stuff out of our head, we won't say that stuff. I don't feel once we really get it out, it's just something that you flushing that old stuff out. You're just not gonna say. I tell my students come up with some other words just over F, S, let's see, D, P, whatever. Come up with some other words like fudge and stuff like that. Let it come out.
All right. Okay. So, we talked about the boxer that trains. Talked about uh that violent family over there talking about shooting people, police shooting, boxing and shooting. And someone over here is talking about uh bad words that come out. Yeah, and I talked about slapping. So 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 those things are in your subconscious some type of way it got in there, right? Got into your and your subconscious is kind of like it's like your automatic mind. It's what you don't that's things that you do that you don't really have to think about. It's in you, so to speak. Hmm. So now let's go back to Romans 12 and 2.
See, while you were out of class, we
Y'all talk about that?
yeah, while we started talking like that because you got to remember anything that comes out of you is already in you.
Yeah.
So and that's the thing, trying to get people to understand what comes out is already in you.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't say, well, I don't know where that come from because you do.
All right.
On what's in you is gonna come out. Can't nothing come out that you didn't put there.
Okay. So relate that to Romans 12 and 2.
But I mean, that's to me, it's something like what I was saying is it's what you put in you when you said talking about renewing your mind. Like I said, I'm talking about strengthening. You study more, you put more knowledgeable stuff in you. So when something comes out, that's what's gonna come out. Whatever you put in you is what's gonna come out. So you put good stuff in order to move out. Also, like Martin was saying, if you put good in, some old or bad stuff is gonna come out. So the more good you put in, the more bad comes out
Okay.
because it's gonna replace. So if you got all positive thoughts traveling around in your head, that's what's gonna come out. So when somebody meets you, that's initially what they're gonna see.
Okay. So let's back up. All right. So what's in you
The typically was what's gonna come out.
is what's going to come out. So how did it get in you? How did what's in you get in you? I guess.
He just said it. It's what you was taught because
Like what?
you can be taught something and not literally be taught because you can just watch the action of other people
Hmm.
and it'll lodge in your brain set too.
Yeah.
So that's why you say we have to be careful what you put in front of somebody
All right.
because you're always in a teaching mode. People don't understand that, but you're always in a teaching mode.
All right. So
You check it. Somebody can see you now, and the first thing they're gonna say is, "Boy, I remember when you was 17 and you were doing this." They're gonna look at you now. First thing they're gonna think about when they see you again is they're gonna go back way back when.
hmm and that may tell you something, right? So how many people have, I don't know, a fear? Who has a fear of standing up in front of a room and teaching a class?
I'll have
So why do you have that fear?
Well, I've had that fear because, now that fear drives me to make sure I know what I'm talking about, pants and zipped up, that type of stuff. Yeah, check it out. It's just, I think the fear for me is healthy because it, makes me prepare. I just always have no like speaking in front of people. I don't like answering questions, but I know in order to do what I have to do, I have to be able to do that. But I've never I like to talk, but getting in front of folks, and some folks they want to see you mess up. I was a classroom teacher, students try to ask you questions, try to trip you up, ask you stuff. You want that, you want to answer that. But I just always have fear that I still do. I don't know if I ever get over it, but I use it to my advantage by preparing for what I have to do.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Your subconscious, it interprets your experiences, doesn't it? It kind of takes, you could have had a bad experience in front of a class. Like I said, a teacher tripped you up, whatever. Kids laughed at you because you misspelled the word. You walked up there to the blackboard, you know, spell, I don't know, pet, and you spelled it wrong, whatever, you know. Or a teacher asked you to stand up and answer a question and you got it wrong and all the kids laughed at you. Or you may not have been the one to get it wrong, but you and your buddies were laughing at somebody else. When James Hall stood up, you laughed at James Hall. So then when it's your time to stand up, you're afraid to stand up now, right? Because you know your friends, because you know what you and your friends were doing. So you know James Hall will get you back and laugh at you when you mess up, right? So your experiences kind of teach you something or tell you something, and that gets put in your brain, right? It's in your subconscious. Now the teacher didn't teach you to be afraid to stand up. Your experiences taught you that. That's in your subconscious. As James Hall said, as you said, people you're around teach you things. You hear them cursing a lot. That in your subconscious, when I drop something on my foot, I'm supposed to cuss. It just comes out, because that's what you've heard and it's in your subconscious, whether you know it or not. Biases are the same way. All right. Okay, this is basketball season. So let's say the slam dunk contest, and I didn't watch the slam dunk contest this year. Let's say there were 6 people in the slam dunk contest. 5 of them are black men. One of them's a white man. Now, I know y'all don't do this. Y'all don't bet. I get it. But if you were to bet, how many of you would bet on the white guy for to win the slam dunk contest? You wouldn't do it probably. Now, if it's 3-point contest, Steph Curry wasn't in it, but it was the 3-point contest. Y'all might would vote on. Y'all might would bet on the white guy. That's a bias. Y'all know that? You know. How many of y'all at the 4th of July cookout and y'all say, hey, who made the potato salad? And somebody say, Junior's white girlfriend made that potato salad. You gonna put the spoon down and pick up and eat some of the macaroni salad that you know Aunt Mabel made, whatever, right? That's a bias because you just assume it's not gonna be as good as what you want it to be. It's not gonna be seasoned the way you like it to be seasoned, or whatever. Gonna have raisins in it or something. She ain't sprinkling no paprika across that, is she? All right. So, but that's a bias. That's a bias. Where do we get that from? Nobody stood. Well, shouldn't nobody have stood up in a classroom and taught us that? But we've learned it somehow through our experience, through people just talking, through people joking, comedians joking, whatever. And so we put those thoughts in our mind, right? And they're in the back of our mind, in our subconscious. And so we make decisions and we perform actions based on that. You know, how many of you are watching a movie or something, or you see the news or something, and something happens to a little black child? It touches your heart, doesn't it? They start crying, you almost crying, right? I had to fight back tears. No, I know it's a movie, but I'm still, little Ray having a tough time. But if it's a white child or an Asian child, you may feel for that child, but not the same. Now, I'm not saying you. I know you guys are better than me, but it don't hit you the same. It don't hit me the same. I saw something the other day. Young lady, I think it's in Americas. Young lady's missing.
Yeah, she go to my school.
Yeah. Young lady missing. I saw that and it automatically hit me. I was like, oh man, this young lady's disappeared. You know, I immediately started thinking, I have a daughter, she's not, what's the girl, like 13, 14? Yeah, she's 14. So, Allie's older than that, but still, you know, her and her friends supposed to be going, they want to go spring break somewhere. So I'm like, 4 girls going down into Florida, I'm worried about that. And she grown, really. But it hits me different than, not saying I wouldn't have sympathy, for an young Asian girl missing, but I feel it. That's a bias that I have. So if I don't have sympathy for someone that's a little different than me, I'm probably going to treat them a little different. I don't know. It's maybe the help I give may not be the same. You know, we're usually on the other side of this a lot of times. You know, uh, you see somebody on the side of the road that needs help. Do you stop for them? Depends on what they look like, maybe, right? And I get it, because the world's dangerous now. I tell you, could be something else going on, but um, it's in our subconscious. So when we say renewing of our minds and not to conform to the world, that's talking about our subconscious, right? So how can we be the children of God that we should be if we have some type of bias towards someone else? That's something we've got to work on, right? That's renewing.
I think it's the whole, not just the subculture. I think it's the whole,
The whole,
the whole,
the whole,
whole element. Yeah, not just the sub,
the whole what now?
the whole body. Because now remember, they all act as one. They all act together.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But your mind controls your actions. Your mind controls your actions. So, yeah, yes, your whole body needs to be renewed, yes. But your mind is what's telling you how to react. So, y'all ever been somewhere and someone's come to help you, but you just don't, it doesn't feel genuine to you? They offer you help and assistance, but it just doesn't feel, because this is what I think they're doing. They know they should help. So they're thinking in their mind, I should help this person. It's a conscious action. They're thinking about it and telling themselves to do it. Whereas subconscious would mean you see somebody in need, you just automatically help them, and you ain't even thought about it. Automatic, just like that slap I was talking about, because it's just in you to do good. You're just gonna help the person without even having to think. You are thinking about it, but you're not really thinking about it. It's just an automatic reaction. That's the renewing of the mind that we need. That's the renewing of the mind that we need. Is to get those biases, get those experiences that are kind of negative, that have kind of taught us not to react a certain way. Like you say, you got to flush them down the toilet, as brother Martin Mitchell, Eminem said. Um, because you have certain beliefs, you have certain fears, you have certain biases. All that is in your mind, in your subconscious now, and we've got to clean that up. We've been members of the body for a long time. Most of us have, right? How much have we really changed? Ask yourself that. Ask yourself that. As far as your innermost thoughts. Now we're reading all these verses talk about your heart. They talk about cleaning up your heart and changing your heart. So your heart and your mind connected, right? So if you have something in your subconscious mind that's not quite right, there's something in your heart that's not quite right. And that's what he was asking God to remove, right? So we need to be praying that same prayer. We need to be trying to clean ourselves up, not just for what we've learned, but the things that we taught ourselves, so to speak, over the years. You know, it's good to be able to know verses and quote verses and and have an argument with somebody. You know, you have those religious arguments with coworkers or family members, whatever. That's great, but we need to have that subconscious mind that thinks the way God wants us to think. All right, so that's what we're going to be talking about, I guess, this month. And just want to get an understanding of what the subconscious mind is, how it controls us. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not anything bad about the subconscious mind. Subconscious mind is great. It's great to have. It is a gift from God. But we just need to be sure the right stuff's in there, that we flush it. I'm gonna keep saying this. I'm not gonna forget to say it. I guess we're gonna need to flush out the bad stuff and make sure we get the good stuff. And James gone, so I can say this now. So James was mentioning it. You know, we need to read and study and meditate to get the good stuff in there. You know, so we flush out the bad, and the good stuff will replace it. And then we'll have those automatic reactions, those automatic actions as well to someone that's in need, to something that's not right, or something that's against God. We need to automatically have those reactions without even having to think about it. I think that's a goal we should all have, maybe, is to um, improve our subconscious mind to where our actions and reactions are automatic. Proper actions and reactions are automatic. So, what things do y'all have? Any things that y'all just automatically do that's an automatic reaction? Can you think of anything that's within you that's an automatic reaction? I mean, I know you brought up the Angela shoots people as an automatic reaction. If she can get it out the holster.
Right. Now I get it out the holster when I need to.
So she like Barney Fife. She like Barney Fife trying to get it out, but once she get it out, you're in trouble. Anyone else have any subconscious reactions to things? And I was thinking of things, like when I said the slap, I was trying to think of something that was extreme. I know Martin brought up the kids, but what do we have ourselves? What are automatic reactions that we have? Anyone want to share? Maybe something that they need to work on.
So I was gonna use another thing. Subconsciously, like when you're driving, some people don't realize it, but I'm gonna use like think it like Lady Road, there's a stop sign there. Sometimes you're driving and you're continuing on and you're like, did I stop at that stop sign? Because you did stop at it, but because you're subconscious, sometimes when we're driving, we don't realize that we stopped at something. And you're like, I don't even remember how I got. Sometimes when I'm coming from drill, I'll be like, did I miss my exit? How did I get? So sometimes when we're driving, we tend to do that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've done that before. Like, did I pass so and so, so and so? Yeah, yeah. I used to do. I Mike, we got another one over here. Um, I used to I used to go to work in Tifton, and I used to drive through a caution light.
Mhm.
And I get to work some mornings, I would make myself, I'd ask myself, was that caution light working when I went through it?
You went through.
Trying to train myself to pay attention to was that caution light flashing? Yes, sir.
I'm just saying, not really I do this, but I noticed for some of the older ladies at school, like they'll say sweetie and baby to everybody, and they apologize. But I said, don't, but that makes it where it's more than just, you just doing the job. And, people don't, I had one parent complain about it, but she came back and apologized later. Because one of the older ladies said, well, sweetie, that's not her name. That's not, but she apologized for it. It just makes it more, human when you're dealing with kids, especially anybody, when you say terms of endearment like that. Like I said, I don't do that because I'm not going to the central office. You said, you call my daughter sweet. No, 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 no. Call my name. But I'm just saying, that's something that our nurse is older. She apologized to me when I said, don't do that. It's fine. It reminds me of being in school myself. It reminds me of the nurse I had growing up in elementary school. Just, they would say something like to make you feel pretty good about yourself. Even if you're feeling bad, but she'll say that it makes me feel better. But that's just one thing I noticed from like older ladies, with even young adults or the kids saying that just something that just come out subconsciously. It's just from my name.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so here's homework for you all. That's not really homework. Just come up with some emotional patterns that you know you have and reactions that you have for us to talk about on Wednesday. All right, and try to tell us where they originated. All right, that you've got that emotional pattern or that reaction that you have to something. Try to come up with two or three, and tell us where you think it came from, where it originated in your subconscious. All right. Yes. Thank y'all. What would be difficult about? Yeah. See, you walked out. I gave you a